Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca with your live Pinpoint Doppler 12 Futurecast.
All right, here's the situation. Very complex weather patterns setting up. And I'm not tracking just one weather system or one storm, but rather multiple weather players that'll be coming through over the next several days, each with its own round of some heavy rain and some wind. Now, as far as any potential impacts from Tropical Storm Joaquin, that in itself is still 4 to perhaps even 5 days down the road. So that would be towards the latter part of the weekend. So what's coming through now or eventually overnight into tomorrow is a completely separate weather system. So a lot to cover. Let's first start with, I want to show you the threat tracker one more time, and it's relatively quiet right now. We're in at least the medium or yellow category for both Wednesday and Thursday. And again, while I do anticipate a decent amount of rain tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, and tomorrow night, I wouldn't call the amounts, at least in the short term, extreme. 1 to 2 inches of rain, which in itself is a good soaking of rain, isolated 3-inch amounts, and that will more than likely lead to some isolated, localized street flooding tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, periods of heavy rain. If you live along one of the big rivers, the Patuxent, the Blackstone, it's been so dry of late that these rivers can handle this initial dose of rain. But the problem is there'll be multiple episodes of rain coming over the next several days, and eventually it'll all start to pile up over a 4 to 5 day period. Here's the situation in Providence now. There's really not much going on as far as storminess or widespread rain. We have low clouds, some occasional showers, nothing more than that. Temperatures in the low 70s. I do expect the widespread rain to arrive by very late tonight, early tomorrow morning. 72 now in Smithfield with high humidity. And here's the setup, satellite and radar composite. You don't see a lot over New England, southern New England, other than isolated showers. Nothing scattered about this. A solid area of green on the Doppler radar. This is all sliding east and northeast, and while the excessive rain with this first round will be confined to northern New England, we'll still get a decent soaking out of this on the order of 1 to 2 inches of rain. All eyes on Tropical Storm Joaquin, Bahamas, Florida, New England way up in here. Satellite photo showing me now that the storm is intensifying. It could very well be on its way to a Category 1 hurricane. Now the latest from the National Hurricane Center, winds of 63, gusts to 75. The forecast track over the next several days, actually drifting it near the Bahamas as a Category 1 hurricane, and then watch the trek further to the north. This is the position by Sunday afternoon. Here is southern New England. You know, how close or far away from the coastline remains to be seen, but there is the potential for some rain and wind impacts from this by the latter part of the weekend. A lot of uncertainty. It's still 4 days down the road, but something that needs to be watched very closely. Check back with our blogs each day, WPRI.com. And here's the other setup, regardless of Joaquin, and that is we have high pressure to our north and broad area of low pressure to the south. And what it's doing is it's creating this squeeze play of wind. So over the next several days, from coastal Maine all the way down to coastal Carolinas, we'll have these strong east-northeasterly winds each day across the coastline. And this will have a number of factors as far as the coastal weather, some high surf, some beach erosion, and the potential for some coastal flooding during the times of high tide. This is for the next several days. So rough surf and rough waves offshore right on through Friday with this persistent east-northeasterly wind. And this is the reason why we have wet weather right through the weekend. Thursday and Friday are raw and windy with periods of rain, heavy at times, rain on Saturday, and then all eyes on the late Saturday, Sunday time frame as far as any potential impacts from Joaquin. That could mean additional rain and wind, so stay tuned with temperatures in the 50s and the 60s. So essentially we go from a moderate drought to several days of heavy rain and wind right on through the weekend. If you add up that 4 to 5 day rainfall amount, we could be looking at amounts that range anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of rain. That's stretched out over 5 days, but that's still a lot of rain.
Cause a lot of trouble. All right, Tony, thanks. There's much more.